شو اسمه؟
شو؟
اللي عم ينقلوا اسئلتهم ما بيعرفوا انه تجاوب.
إيه؟
في رسائل
لا بس هو بجاوبهم.
ما بيعرفوا لا امتى ولا هذا، بتجي كثير رسائل.
لقيت لي صحيح الفايل؟
ايه انا متى ما انضرب السيكونس ما بعرف ايش تحكي. خلوني بس دقيقة برسم شيء نمشي.
ما شو امبارح كلام. عم خربطه شوي بس. انا لايف انا.
بنسى المصحف الجامعي مثلا عدد الحضور قلب كثير بس كثير شيء. يلا خلص.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Dear brothers and sisters, السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Welcome back wherever you are when your lecture Fatawa on air directly. The first question tonight from a woman who's asking, I meet my husband and made him mad. I don't want to go through why, because of the living between what Allah Azza wa Jal ordered that we cover these issues. And I want to make khul', and I try to live with him so many years, and this is making me hate him more and stay away from him. I've taken some bitterness and I went through, and a lot of scholars I went to, making istighfar 1,000 times, make prayers. Maybe you were tested with some sins that made this to you. Renew the dua, and I did what they asked and more. I still have the same problem. I'm still going around the same step. Most of my good years is gone, and every time I try to do the khula, my husband stood in my face to put this hadith in front of me. The mukhtala'at are the hypocrites. So if there's something I could do in here, if there's something allowed in Sharia to stop a fire in the household, to a bleeding that need to be stopped. After thanking Allah Azza wa Jal and making Salah on the Prophet ﷺ, after the khul', after with the reason, if a woman cannot have the rule of Allah to be accountable for, if she can't live with him, it is allowed for the woman to do that, and this is something that is agreed on all scholars. No disagreement. She could ask for his khula if she can't live with him anymore. This is from the justice of Allah Azza wa Jal and His mercy with His servants, with the marriage relationship, and with justice established the heavens and earth. And the women are partners with the men in the responsibilities and duties. So whenever there is a shar' excuse, then it is okay. What happened in Surah Al-Baqarah with Allah Azza wa Jal saying, it's not allowed to you to take from what you have given them anything, unless they are afraid that they will not establish the rules of Allah. If they feared that there is no problem on them what she had paid for. This is Allah Azza wa Jal who gave you this right, my sister. There is no burden on them from what she made fidya with. So Allah Azza wa Jal, so unless there is a good reason, then it is okay, but it has to be there. There should be a good Islamic reason. In the hadith that Thabit ibn Qais, a woman came to the Prophet ﷺ, and she said, "O Prophet of Allah, my Thabit I don't have any problem with his religion or his character, but I hate to have enter kufr in Islam. I will not establish the right. I cannot do his right. And the husband is her paradise or her fire. So if she can't establish the rules of Allah Azza wa Jal, she needs to way out. So he, alayhi salatu wasalam, told her, would you return back to him his garden, the one he gave you? Then he told, accept the garden and give her one talaq. Another one, she said, take everything, just leave me something I put my hair with. At a time when life is too hard and the woman cannot stay with her husband, of course there is a way out. Because her staying with her husband could cause her a lot of damage. The Prophet said no harm or hurting. So the Sharia came to bring the best of interest and to reduce the harm. And the woman staying in her husband that she cannot stay with is among the harm that should be put in consideration. And the Sharia is all just. It is the justice of Allah Azza wa Jal among His creations, and it is wisdom and the truthfulness of His Prophet alayhi salatu. It's the best proof with it, which was the guidance of Allah Azza wa Jal. Umar stayed on the straight path, he stayed on the good path. What about the hadith that the one who do khula are the hypocrites? First of all, there is something in this, the isnad of the narrators, but anyway, let's suppose it is correct. You cannot use it against the word of Allah. It is taken on whomever asking her husband the khal or the talaq and with no reason. Look what Hafiz ibn Hajar say in his book Fath al-Bari. The news that says about the reducing the woman from divorcing her husband are taken if there is no reason to do that. Because the hadith Thawban, any woman who asks her husband divorce, it is forbidden on her the smell of Jannah, paradise. And he put with no reason, a good reason. But if there's something, a reason that going to protect herself because she hates her husband, and look, after you have to do the best and the serious effort to correct between the husband and wife. Because the hadith of the Rasul, you want me to tell you on the status that is higher than fasting, charity and jihad? He said to connect between the husband and wife, to reduce or to take the dispute between the husband and wife. So the effort should be done effortlessly and to find all means to bring people together, not to separate them. And there should be serious effort from both parts, from every person who wants to get that degree from Allah Azza wa Jal. If that did not work, then you should go with what you can do, nothing but without it. You might take a cup of poison to protect yourself from something that's deadly, more poison that's deadly. And this is the virtue of the Prophet ﷺ. He did not force the wife of Thabit bin Zayd to stay with her. He could have told her, oh, make 1,000 rak'ah, make istighfar, stay with him 1 year, 2 years, maybe repent from your sins. No, he didn't tell her that. He said, would you give him back his gift? Yes. That's that. He said, accept it from her and divorce her. Because to have that life, marriage life, as just a picture, and it does not have the basics to establish it. That's the harmony, the love, the tranquility between them. If it's not gone, I mean, then there is no need for that marriage to keep it. Yes, this is the rule of the Prophet ﷺ. He does not stop. No, you have to do every possible way to connect, to correct, to fix whatever the dispute that is between the husband and wife. Another question that can the relation between makeup and the one that is flirted, are they the same? Is there the same punishment for the one if for someone flirts with someone who has makeup, who's not wearing hijab, and the one who's wearing hijab? First of all, whomever made makeup and she showed what Allah has forbidden her to show, then she have helped others on herself, and she is partnered with them on the sin because she enticed them to do that. She is inviting them with her condition to look at her and to flirt with her, as if she's telling them, here, come and take. And Nisa'i said about Nisa'i, saying the Prophet ﷺ, whomever woman made perfume and they found perfume, they enjoyed her smell, then she has committed zina, adultery. Imam Ahmad, a woman met him and she has great perfume. So he said, where the wife of the tyrant? Oh, where are you going to the? She said to the masjid. And to him you have beautiful. She said yes. Abu Hurairah, I heard the Prophet ﷺ saying, any woman took from her house, but from you, when seeking the masjid, Allah will not accept her to go back to go into the masjid. Allah will not accept her prayer until she goes back and make ghusl for janaba. Not because she did anything, it's just because she took the perfume from herself with her ghusl, or otherwise. And the same way, whoever covered herself and she have saved herself and helped others from herself, and she kept away those who are sick, who wants adultery, because they want people like her. Didn't Allah say, oh Prophet, tell your wives and your daughters and to the women of the Muslim believers to cover themselves so they will not be known, so those who are sick will not be attacking them, they will not have a chance toward them. So I hope that they will put this meaning ahead of them from those who are flirting with the woman. We come to a question here. Is it allowed that I will write in my will that if I die, my husband will not walk in my funeral? He is treating me like very badly, and I treat him nicely.
لماذا تصرين على توريث الأعمال؟
Why are you trying to do that after death? If you went to Allah Azza wa Jalla, you are out of this life and everything and whatever it is. You have left this life and everything in it. So it's not gonna harm you who comes to your funeral or who doesn't. It is enough for the death as a separator. If Allah took his trust, you are very busy with something else. From the trial in the grave and the questioning and all the issues that you are too busy for. So leave that out of your, there's no need to that. It is bad that the kids are going to see that their father is not allowed to go into her funeral. What kind of hatred that you are showing on the example that you're trying to inherit to your kids? I think you need to stay away from that and be a better person than that. Whomever is patient and forgive, that's from the greatest of matters. Whomever forgive and corrected, it is his reward is to Allah Azza wa Jalla. I know your pain that you're going through. If he has abused you, if he did treat you wrong, but all of this is gone. Once you die, don't forget Allah does not forget what happened. And he is wrong whomever took some transgression with him to the hereafter. And the rest of people are between them is going to be settled at the day of judgment. The one who is bankrupt is the ones who come with a great deeds, and because people have rights on them, they take all their deeds until they are all gone, and then they start taking the sins of the others that they have rights on them, and then they'll be thrown in the hellfire. Why you want to put yourself in that? Because Allah Azza wa Jalla say in the day of judgment, by my right, I will not let anyone pass by until all the rights are gone, are settled. So whomever is your partner in your life, Allah Azza wa Jalla, Allah want his Abu Bakr to his cousin to settle between them, because he was talking about Aisha. When Allah said, don't the good and the honored people let them forgive. Don't you want Allah Azza wa Jal to forgive your sins? He said, oh yes, Allah, we want Allah to forgive us. Then he started giving money to his cousin, and he swore he will not stop until he died. And he did. If the one who is staying and combine between two prayers, because of it, does he have to pray record to the sunnah? No. When you say required, that's mean it is obligatory. Sunnah is not obligatory. You get reward if you did it. The sunnah is not required. It is recommended. It is liked, because it is your safeguard from your obligation. Because if there is any shortcoming, this is what Allah Azza wa Jal will take to complete your obligation. I know there's a dispute about the timing of Fajr, and only Allah knows. I pray with the time of my town. After that, 25 minutes. Fasting, I fast with Egypt. There's a problem in here, but let me put a rule. That the fasting, when you make siyam and duha when the duha. You cannot say I live in Texas, but I will break my fast in Maghrib and Eastern countries. No, you're in Texas, you break your fast in Maghrib time in Texas, in the masjid that you go to, and you are with the congregation. You stay there in Jum'ah, and the obligations. The congregation is mercy. The times. This is the process, but that implementation in one area on another is a human. The Prophet he put us the rules, that is standard, but to implement that rules at that time in a place, it's something a human being take the effort. People are disputed, just like they dispute the interest of Ramadan. Each country they have their own standard that they follow. So the Mufti in one area made that it is the fasting. They said tomorrow's Eid. You make Eid. So you are with the group. Don't worry, inshallah. So fast with the Muslims, and break your fast with them, and pray with the timing of them, beginning of ending. And the congregation group is mercy, and being isolated. And if you're right, you are having double reward. And if you are mistaken, you are having one reward. What you hate in congregation is better than what you like being isolated. A question, someone about the work, the political work. He says, you made the fatwa that you are allowed to work in politics. Yeah, we're talking about United States, and he told us the decisions in East and West from different places of fatwa. They all agreed they're allowed to work in the politics and to participate in elections. And it is from the Shara that balance the interest and the harm. But our friend here, he would say, when you said and participate, even if I use that one was less, and I am helping into the wrongdoing, some has 90% harm. 170. When I support the one who's 70, I am helping on bad, on transgression, on wrong. So how you give us this, allow us to vote? The answer, brother, that the Sharia to have the best of the goods and to push back the worst of the worst. Like you go from Abu Jahl to Abu Talib if you can, on the rule of Abu Jahl to An-Najashi. An-Najashi before Islam, he was like Abu Jahl in Kufr. But when Muslims went to Habasha, they went because of the justice and the Najashi, and to go from the oppression of Abu Jahl. Al-Izz ibn Abd Salam says, and you can help on the sin sometimes, not because it is a sin, but because it is a way to stop a bigger harm. So you can help on the sin, not because it is a sin, just because it will be a way to stop a bigger sin or a bigger harm. There is big corruption and less. If you have to choose, you choose the less of the evil. and some of the evil is better than others. So I tell my question: when you come to this country and stay in it and to pay taxes in it, you are going to the same thing because you are doing the same thing, but you are taken with this from the injustice of some countries, and you are going to less harm that you do it. So when you pay taxes and you're helping others, the one that you're blameless for, the Sharia is to bring the best of the goodness and to keep away or push away the worst harm. And with that establish the justice established in the globe. You cannot have 100% good or 100% bad. It has to be somewhere in between. So you always have to balance what is the best of the best and what is the worst evil that you could push back. Allah has forbidden the alcohol, and there's goods in it. So even though there's goodness in the alcohol, Allah has forbidden it. And Allah allows certain things because there's others. The question after that: can you make udhiyah on someone who died? The days of Adha are coming close. My brother, on the udhiyah, it is allowed on the live people. The Prophet ﷺ and his companions, they used to make the udhiyah on themselves. He used to do one on his behalf and one on his family and one on whomever didn't make duha in his people. He made udhiyah every year he was living in Medina. The udhiyah on the dead, it has conditions. If that's to the alive, no problem. The Prophet ﷺ, when he made udhiyah and his household, and some of them they have died, it is to fulfill their will. It's okay. But to make it voluntarily on the udhiyah, on the dead, separate from the life, this is something disputed. Some allowed it, like Al-Hanabila, just like the charity on the dead. But this is recommended because the Prophet ﷺ, he did not specify someone who's dead with udhiyah. He didn't make udhiyah on Hamza, and the value of Hamza is very high. And his sorrow on him is, or his kids who died in his life. And 3 women and 3 males, they all died in his life, except Fatima, who lived, and she died after him by 6 months. Noor, Khadija, and it's not known. We don't know that it was that any of his companions did the same thing. So, Wallahu Alam, we put the dead with the alive. This is just like Ali Salatu Wasalam did. This is closer to the meaning of al-shara. When my grandmother died, there is land for to build. My uncles, they built this house, and my father took an apartment in it. The first one. He beginning of this house, and I can't understand this question here, so I urge the person to call us because we need more details, or some of these details are not. If you want the regular rules, if your grandmother died, then what she left is inheritance. If she had men and women, then the men get double with the women. If someone built in her life, whatever he spent, it is evaluated, and then the rest should be divided according to the Sharia. But there is so many things in the question that's not understood. So hopefully he will call us to get more details from him. A question that's very important here. We have to talk about before we finish this, because we're going to be asked in the season. It seems like it's caused a problem. The question is asking, in our masjid, he works with a big Islamic organization. We close the masjid's doors, and no prayers is allowed except Jum'ah, because of the high level of COVID-19, especially here in our society, and with the instructions of the governor, they decided to close everything, to look into everything in 2 weeks. Some did not follow the rules, and he kept arguing with the administration and the imam, and he did not like to put mask, and he claimed of treason and kufr and so many things. Now, after closing the masjid, we pray in front of the main gate of the masjid. They want to put themselves out in the street, and they created some problems on social media and accusing the administration of hypocrisy, and they even wanted to enter the masjid on their own risk, but that could harm others, because if there is someone who works there who want to get into expose himself, this will harm him. So what do you know, that the masjid, it is sunnah on the majority. So how about lakatham? Then he's concluded, the brother think they are making jihad against an oppressor, and they are stopping the evil. So give us a fatwa. We tell our brother, there's no doubt to fight the leadership is not good. To gather on something, it is better than to be isolated or to be separated. Ibn Mas'ud, he prayed behind Uthman to film the Hajj, and he believed that he is wrong, because the dispute is wrong. So it's not good. Our Muslim countries, we use the non-Muslims to settle our dispute, to come to our masjid and to settle our religious dispute. This is a shame that we should not fall into it. Whomever did this, we understand his jealousy, his love to Islam, but leave the emotions with the truth, with the facts. There's time for the emotions, but the sense, the rules of thinking should be the one who goes. So go back to Allah and come back to the Muslims and settle with you in goodness, to pray in your house completely, and don't be in congregation. It's better than to start a fitna in masjid or the Muslims. what is good that one of the dua, he entered Masjid in Ramadan. They found him fighting. How many rak'ah they do in Tarawih? 8, between 20 and 8. The problem, once you want 8, some they criminalize, make bid'ah anyone who add more than 8. And I've seen it myself here in America. There is fighting without adding 1 over 8, as if whoever did it, he have committed a major sin. And he said this is innovation and this is worse than a sin. Like to pray to God as it worse than committing drinking alcohol. That's what their thinking is. It is right by itself, but it is meant wrong with it. So this man went to the masjid, he found this dispute. He said, why you are disputing? Why are you having this fight? They said, 1, 2, 3. He said, I have fatwa. Pray Isha and close the masjid. And go to your houses. Because to have you all is obligatory, and to pray the Tarawih is Sunnah. Let's put the Sunnah aside and stay on the obligation, which is stay together. It is better for us to go pray at your home and be and this is an ijtihad. A lot of people said so. This summary: fear Allah and collect between and stay together. Ameen. Our brother is asking if a person who cannot whomever cannot make yasjud salah because of sickness, but he cannot make ruku', and whenever he has sujood he sit on the chair, does he have half of the reward? No, I hope he will get all of it, because Allah Azza wa Jal gives the rule of all what he had. Allah is not stingy. He gives with no accountability. If he gives so much. Question here. Maybe we'll conclude with it, because it has with our reality. Our brother is asking, the institutions in this country, they started with Corona, put food on some without any income, or that this is for someone who is given to everybody who wants. He's saying this to go to those and to have some of their food. Is it in the saying of the Prophet? Man asking people until he comes to the day of judgment, he don't have any meat on his face, and he say in the schools they don't ask you, is your kids should be in this school only? Like when they give food in that school, they don't ask if your kids go in that what is forbidden to ask. The answer, with my love to your concern, what you say from the one that Prophet forbids. They spend on that given with no rules, like you say. There is no problem. There's a hadith of Salim ibn Abdullah ibn Umar from his father Abdullah ibn Umar, saying that the Prophet used to give us, and I say, give it someone who is more poorer than me. He said, take it if you get money of this and you didn't ask for it, take it.
فإن شئت كل
And if you want to eat it,
شئت تصدق
and if you want, you could make charity on it.
شئت كله وإن شئت تصدق به وما لا فلا تتبع نفسك قال سعيد
So Sam said,
لا يسأل
so Abdullah will not ask anybody. I will take nothing he was given. You don't ask. If a money comes in, he takes it.
لكننا نؤمن
But we add on this a very important issue
أن يكون لأهل الإسلام
for the Muslims,
ديار الإسلام
as a Muslim country, participation to bring people's heart to Islam and to show their participation in their calamities. Allah said, Allah do not forbid you for those who don't fight you in the religion, do not expel you from your houses, to be good to them and to be fair. Allah love those who are just fair. And Umar al-Khattab, when he went to Al-Sham with some Christians who are very poor, and he was ordered they're given from the sadaqat and to bring the food. So Islam always take the things from the souls, opens the hearts to guidance. Allah made for those who are those whose hearts are leaning to Islam, that they have a share in the zakah. And the Prophet ﷺ given anything in Islam, and man came to him, he gave him enough livestock that's filled with between two mountains. Who went to his house, he said, follow Muhammad, who he is a man who don't fear poverty, is given with something who don't fear poverty. So being good, the best way to the hearts. And whomever found it, if you are good to people, you have used their hearts. Ameen. A woman sent this question several times. I want to conclude by answering her. She said, the summary is the certificate from Bank of Abu Dhabi and she's asking about the zakah. To answer this, first of all, what having to do with the Eastern things, there's for those banks, there's people who are expert from that town, who knows what is better, because they know. My stand, any bank that he claimed that he's a Muslim and he put so all his profits on permissible, unless you know of a certain contract that is wrong from the scholar that says this is haram, then you stop from that one by itself. Anything else on permissible. So we do not make it hard on people in their sustenance. Second of all, our knowledge that Abu Dhabi Bank is more following the Shara in the East. So with that, then their shares is accepted and permissible. You shall get rid of it. And the zakah is on in the investment money. It is on the principal and the profit together, because it is this is an investment, and the merchant he pay for the principal and the easiest way. Someone goes outside. If the time of his zakah, look what you have cash, what you have from commodity you evaluated, and the debt that you have on others who can pay you back, and those that you have to pay, then take it out, and then you make the zakah on the rest. This is what is available. Inshallah, we'll continue on Monday, Thursday, inshallah. Subhanallah, alhamdulillah, astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayk.